Run it back. Oh, boy.
Once again, hey, they don't ask how, they ask how many. And the Mustangs won tonight. We're undefeated in ACC play. And right now, we are live from Fondren Library on the beautiful campus of SMU in the Big D. And you are listening to the Mustang Mood podcast.
Yeah, and I got to say, we were laughing at the opening of this, not because we loved how the game went. We do love how the game went. This is a disaster, guys. This is a disaster.
Chaos.
It was the fact that we had thought we were live for about 5 minutes into this, and then we realized we weren't, and so we were laughing because we're having to start over. And now we're here. So, yeah, not a pretty game. But before we get into the game, I think we should introduce the lovely lady sitting next to us.
Correct.
Jay, would you like to start?
Yeah, so this is my lovely wife, Audrey.
Hello.
This is an audio podcast, so you have to speak.
You can't just wave. Hello, everybody.
And
I'm Jay.
Yeah. I'm Walker.
This is Walker.
Yeah, so if you haven't met me before, no. So this, to my right, your left, is this lovely lady.
If you're watching,
If you're watching,
if you're listening, it doesn't matter.
no, you're right. Her name is Erica.
Yep. That's the one.
High school sweethearts.
Yeah.
Both went to SMU.
Pony
Yep.
up. All
Pony
four of
up.
us.
All four of us.
Yeah, all of us
Yeah.
went to SMU.
Pony up.
Yep.
But anyways, back to the game, Jay.
All right. So SMU won 28 to 27 on in an overtime game of a huge block kick by who was that? Number 6.
Number 6.
Jahari Harvey. Yeah, huge block. And you know what? Let's start with what I saw from Rhett.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you rewind, if you go back and watch when Rhett calls his timeout to freeze the kicker, you see he makes this. I'm going to make a hand motion, and then Walker will describe it. He looks at the ref. He's saying something. His lips are moving. I can't quite tell.
Jay lifts
then he
his
goes,
right hand and cups it away from him and down.
It's like
Over
a
his
wave.
left
He's making
And
a
then-
jumping
making a
over
wave.
motion.
An arcing,
Yeah.
jumping over motion. And he goes, huh?
Like ask the ref. Yeah.
So he asked the ref, can we jump over the line of scrimmage? And I guess the ref said yes.
Go
because
for
we
it.
did. And Jafari or Harvey goes and...
I mean, I don't think he touched the line. I
No.
think he just straight hurdled over.
I think he leapfrogged.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I blacked out
Maybe.
for a little
Like, I
bit.
think he kind of propelled himself over.
But should we
don't know.
pull
Yeah.
out the hardware from down here?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Very
Oh,
heavy.
man, it's heavy. Here you go. Jafari, here's your
And throw it and 1, 2, 3. Oh.
the Mustang Mood Player of the Season award. What a block, and the opportunity for us to get to overtime by God's grace.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the definition of grace: is getting something you don't receive or don't deserve. And by no means did we deserve to win tonight.
We did not. 6 turnovers.
6 turnovers.
We looked worse than Syracuse last night.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I think, did they get points off any turnover?
I don't think so. I'll
I
have to
don't.
double check.
I know I was looking at the stats from the last game, and I think they got 17 points off of 3 turnovers from their last week's game. And I think this, as of earlier in the game, there were 4 turnovers, and they had not scored any
Yeah.
points on them.
So
So-
props to our defense,
Yeah.
for real. To be able to hold that, and then special teams, holding the blocking the what's the name of it? The field goal. I don't know anything about football.
Extra
Once
point.
again, this is why people listen to the Mustang Mood
Well,
podcast.
yeah, and shout out to what was their kicker's name?
Pavia.
No.
No,
Some Polino
Paul-
Jr.
Polino.
Oh,
Paul
that's
Jr.
Polino. It was
no,
like
the junior.
yeah, he is a junior. Yeah, Polino really saved our behinds for sure.
Yeah.
Poor guy. I mean,
It's going to
The
be a rough week for him.
the games really do sometimes hinge on the performance of some soccer player,
Yeah.
and it just went in our favor this time.
Fumble, and then turnover on downs, and then interception, turnover on downs, fumble, end of half. So no points off turnovers in the first half. interception, then a missed field goal, interception, then a punt, a fumble, and then a missed field goal. So 0 points off 6 turnovers.
That's actually insane. That's probably
Oh my gosh.
that's probably one of the best stats this year.
So I just Googled it. The most, I'll let y'all take a guess real quick. What's the most turnovers by a winning team in a football game?
I don't
6.
I don't think we have the record, but I think we're close.
We are close.
And so I'm gonna say I think I'll say 8.
And I said close, but we're not. I mean, we're like half of one.
I say 12.
It was 13.
Oh, wow.
Whoa!
But it feels really close to me.
does that
this
count,
feels like
does that
these
count fourth
6
downs, or is that just like straight up turnovers?
Oh, let's see. Most turnovers by winning team.
This is really
It was
interesting.
11. I think Georgia Tech in 1951 had 13 in a single game, and they won.
Yeah,
That's insane.
I mean, I think our defense is pretty elite. I mean, to hold Duke to 21 points when they have, they were talking about the Duke stats. I don't remember the numbers exactly, but they were fairly similar to us in like points scored versus points allowed for the past several games. And so the announcers were talking, something's going to have to give because we both have similar stat lines in that area. And really it looks like nothing gave because we both pretty much had the same score. Or we both gave. But I'm happy with the defense holding them to 21. Well, I guess not 21, but
27.
27.
But 21 in regulation.
Yeah.
My heart fell out of my chest when they scored on the first play of overtime.
Yeah.
Definitely, there were points in the game where the defense looked really strong, and they bent, and they broke a couple times.
Yeah.
But they didn't break.
Fourth quarter was rough. Third quarter.
There were some
iffy too,
drives
yeah.
where they looked like butter. I mean, just like
Yeah.
so soft, and they were giving up 5 yards a play, just no matter what. And so that was discouraging for a little while for sure. But
I
they
mean, at
pulled
the
it
end
off
of
at
the
end.
day,
At
you
the
turned
end.
over the ball 6 times,
Yeah.
and they didn't score any points on it. So
What-
that has to speak for something.
This is the first game in a while where we haven't gotten a turnover for us. 6 turnovers, and
Yeah.
the defense didn't get any. But
I think
they
we have
played well
one of the
enough.
highest scoring defenses.
Yeah, if not the highest.
Yeah. I'm sure I haven't checked the stat, but I'm sure we're still holding the record for the most penalized team in the conference.
Almost certainly. That was another area that was not.
I think it's just there were several kicks in a row where I feel like we got penalties for stupid stuff, unsportsmanlike conduct, name anything else. But yeah, it's there just seems to be a lot of sloppiness with the penalties, which we've seen all season, and then now this game with ball control. And I know that's something
The
that
ball, talk about butter. The ball looked like it was covered in butter.
yeah, no kidding. We were talking. They need to deflate their footballs or something.
Let's get some more grip on this.
No cheating over here.
Yeah, so 7 penalties for 85 yards. So not as bad as some of our previous games this season, but
No,
definitely
but
not good.
good. I mean, you don't.
And Duke had 6 for 56. So 30 yards less.
Yeah, it's just the sloppiness. The ball control of this game is terrible. And we had 2 fumbles that we recovered ourselves.
Yep.
And then a couple other fumbles. I think. The interceptions.
And then after that one, your doctor called. You remember that?
Yeah. But it was just, and I've said this before, like the way Kevin holds the ball scares me because he just like leaves it out there. He does not tuck it when he decides to run, and it's concerning. And I thought he had addressed that because when we decided he was going to be the starter, I was like, this is something we need to look out for. This is something I'm worried about. But
And Rhett went up to him and pretty well said, "Hey, you got to value the ball."
yeah,
And then he hadn't fumbled since.
no,
And he fumbled it several times today. Lost 1, but we recovered like 2.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, shout out to Logan Parr for recovering that fumble on the 1 yard line in the first half. That was huge. If we would have lost that, we would have lost the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely insane. Really, really fortunate. I'm like, we lost 3 fumbles. We threw 3 interceptions. Just absolutely bonkers. Kevin was responsible for 4 of the turnovers today.
Yeah.
Just insane.
Part of the risk being the quarterback, you touch the ball a lot, but
Right.
But that's a lot of times to turn the ball over.
Yeah, no, that's not. It's
I mean,
not good.
Yeah.
The OU quarterback turned it over 3 times, and he got
benched. Yeah.
time to go. So, which they also scored each time, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah,
but
2 interceptions and a pick six, or 2 pick sixes and an
Fumble.
interception.
I take that back.
Something.
Kevin had 5 of the 6 turnovers were him. 2 fumbles and 3 interceptions.
Yeah. I think that stat line is going to haunt him internally. He's going to have nightmares about that game.
Yeah.
I mean, the last fumble should have lost the game. There's no reason, or I guess, yeah, it should have lost the game. There's no reason why the kicker should have missed that field goal.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah. By God's grace.
yeah.
And by God's grace alone. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think that's very true. There's no reason for him to be putting the ball on the ground, and I mean, there's no reason that they didn't score. So, oh man, do we have any comments on YouTube?
We've got a Pitt fan in the comments.
Oh heck yeah!
He said, as a Pitt fan, glad y'all pulled out the win. Fire, fire, fire emoji. Will be a great game next week. Yeah, it'll be a great game. Hopefully we don't play like we did tonight. I don't think we will. Here's my theory. Chalk it up to a month of road games.
Yeah.
Traveling 3 time zones between California to Duke. And that's got to wear on the team a little bit, So they don't have as much time to prepare, and the traveling messes with your flow and everything. So I'll let them have that. But for this home game, they're back home after a month on the road. I would expect them to be fired up. It's homecoming.
Yeah,
I expect to see a completely different team than what I saw tonight.
I think really good teams seem to run into games like this, ones that a trap game that they win by the skin of their teeth. Mm-hmm. And I think that might be the case. I think we're like a really good team this year. This is the best SMU team
We've seen
since the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And so you've got to run into that challenge. I think hopefully these guys learned a lot about themselves tonight, and we'll go into next week a different team. I would be shocked if we turn the ball over twice next week.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Knock
Thank
on
you,
wood.
Erica.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of implications about next week. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But there were some really, really great plays today.
Let's hear about them.
First of all, Smith, Brashard Smith. How lucky are we to have him as Mustang fans?
Absolute
I mean, he's like
animal.
This guy is awesome. I mean, he's so fun to watch. He absolutely turned, nothing into something several times on this in this game, which I forget. That first touchdown to make it 7-7. Brashard Smith makes something out of nothing and lowers his shoulder and scores a touchdown against the linebacker. I think he's probably got 100 pounds difference on him, and he lowers his shoulder and scores like that. That was a great play. And then twice, Roderick Daniels Jr. goes what we thought was the distance. He does once for an 81-yard touchdown. Mm-hmm. And then a 72-yard reception to get us on the 1, and then we're stopped 4 times in a row. What did y'all think about that? That drive, that possession?
First, Roderick Daniels Jr., he looked slower than I thought he was when he was running and being chased down because he had so much space.
He looks faster the second time.
Run faster. And they're just yes. But yeah, the fact that we weren't able to close on that half-yard line, 1-yard line, half-yard line, the whole Kevin Jennings fumble and recovery.
Yeah.
To put us on the half-yard line
And then
for fourth
the
down
penalty at the end.
Well, that was huge. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
The fact that
Yeah.
First off, I would like to have seen a better replay of that fourth and
His elbow was down before
1 inch.
before he recovered.
no. That was on third down.
Oh, okay.
The fourth in one
yeah.
or half, whatever.
That's
it was.
right, because they did another tush push.
Right, and got stood up.
Is that funny to you?
I would like to have seen, but then the penalty was a pretty weak call. It was
unsportsmanlike for.
Was it Savion Byrd on that one, or was it someone else?
I don't know.
But he
I don't even know what he did.
pushed someone off the top of the pile, and I hadn't heard the whistle yet.
Yeah.
Like maybe there was a whistle in the stadium that wasn't in the broadcast, but I thought it was a pretty weak call, and it completely changed the dynamic there.
Yeah.
It's like our defense has 2 safeties already this season. We could have scored there.
We could have. Yeah.
Even if
for
it wasn't
sure.
on offense. I would rather have this 7, but
No, because I was so frustrated with the penalties. It's like, it sucks that we didn't get it, but they're on the half-yard line. We have a decent shot of getting a safety.
Yeah.
But when you get 15 yards because of unsportsmanlike conduct, that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Let's see. Shout out to the SMU fans who were there.
Yeah, you could hear them
You could
on
hear
the
them.
on the screen.
They honestly may have been louder than some of the Duke fans.
Which what a
not that many.
sad turnout.
Yeah.
For a 6-1 team up against
Yeah.
a ranked opponent in ACC play. That was a pretty sad turnout.
The Taylor Swift song for this game.
Tell us, Erica.
It was The Outside from her Taylor Swift debut album.
Because that's where all of the Duke fans were.
Well,
Outside
yes,
the
outside
stadium.
of the stadium, that works, but also because when you hear Duke, you think basketball, not football, and it is telling. I mean,
They have done better this year than I think.
no,
most
they have a
people
good,
expected.
they're
Yeah.
a great team. And so to have no fans there is sad. They were showing the same group of fans who were so fun and hype, but the only ones there, which is just a bummer for those football players.
That is something I was going to point out, was that they did keep putting the camera on the same group of students, which
With
just shows that
overalls and blue wigs.
which just shows that they didn't really have a student section. They just had that one group of people.
I'm sure they're all getting texts from their grandma. I see you on TV tonight.
So, breaking news, for the 3rd week in a row, SMU will be on the ACC network at 7:00.
So
We have a night game next week,
and
but it's on the
probably
ACC network.
No.
So it's not game day.
Yeah. Right.
That's not for sure yet.
Because ESPN runs the ACC network. So
Right. But today was game day and it was on the Big Ten network at
Yeah.
IU.
is that also run by ESPN?
No, it's Fox.
I still think there's a chance. Obviously with Pitt's performance, after Pitt's game, I was like, oh yeah, there's a really good chance. After our performance, I don't know, man. I think it is a home game for us, so maybe they'll give us the benefit of the doubt there. But Penn State, Ohio State has the big noon kickoff. And we were talking about it earlier today.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess we'll go to that. I think there's a definite chance that they would go to Penn State next week.
Yeah.
It seems like that's probably what's going to happen at this point. Sometimes they don't want to step on big noon kickoffs. If they don't have the game, then they try not to hype it up as much. But that's a pretty big game. Both Ohio State and Penn State were on the ropes today. If one of them lost, it would have guaranteed it for us.
Mm-hmm.
But they both pulled it through. So
So
that's unfortunate. So we'll keep an eye
to
on
argue to argue the other side of it, though. This game with us versus Pitt is kind of the. It basically determines who is next in line if either Clemson or Miami drops a game. So
Right.
it is a pretty consequential game, I'd say, for the ACC.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
Well, it's got huge college football playoff potential.
For sure, yeah. Because whoever wins this game, even if they don't make it to the ACC final,
Yeah.
there is a chance they could still make it into the playoff.
Yeah.
But whoever loses this game is out.
Is there anything else we want to say about Duke before we move on to next week?
Oh,
Just because I think I could go on a rant about what may happen in the ACC.
Let's see. Our corners keep getting beat.
Someone asked why didn't we see Preston Stone tonight? Do you have a good reason?
That was my question. Is there were a lot of errors on Jennings' part. And so at what point, especially after Jennings, was hurt, at that point, do you kind of say, let's just sit you out to be safe and try another way? I mean, obviously it ended up working out in the end, but,
May it have been a little less stressful if Preston came in?
I mean,
I don't
who
know.
knows? Maybe not. It's like, do you shake up the team when the quarterback is still working? But is he working? If he's had 5 out of 6 turnovers, right?
Yeah. But
And I wonder if anything's different if Jake Bailey and RJ Maryland are in the game as
sure.
well. It's like I would trust Preston more if we had our number one receiving, targets.
yeah, I agree. I think I stand by Lashley's decision, and Ben's probably not going to be happy about this, but I stand by Lashley's decision to keep Kevin in. And the reason why is because, we saw how bad a 2-quarterback system was for our program. And by switching out the quarterbacks once one starts acting up kind of puts us back into that, is there now a quarterback battle again? And now we're switching quarterbacks, picking between the two on whoever's playing better at the time. It just
But you had
we
the perfect-
complained so much about it,
Yep.
then to now say, we need to switch quarterbacks again, I think is kind of hypocritical.
But you had the perfect out. I mean,
But he wasn't hurt.
right, but he was playing really poorly. And at 5 turnovers is crazy.
Yeah, I know, it's a lot.
I mean, once again, I go back, they didn't score on any of the 5, but I go back to the OU quarterback who he had 2 of the 3, was responsible for 2 of the 3 last week and was pulled out after being in the game for,
You throw 3 interceptions. I mean, it doesn't matter how good your backup is. They're normally putting in the backup.
Yeah.
And he had 5 turnovers
And I think
on
it's
his lonesome tonight.
yeah, I mean, it's okay to have a bad night, but
I think it just kind of kills the confidence and could bleed into next week if Lashley were to, switch out Kevin for Stone.
I don't know. What do you do in that situation, Audrey? What do you think in the ballet world or something like that? When someone's having a bad time, do you put it in the understudy, or do you go with your number one?
Not until they can't walk. You put in the understudy.
There you go.
I didn't
Fills
hear
the
no
flow.
bell. Kevin was still walking.
running.
I was so nervous for his health there. It looked like the
Shoulder pad straight to the side of the knee like that.
was scary.
I mean,
It looked like RJ's injury last week.
yeah.
The
And so-
scariest part was his foot was planted and
Yeah.
someone ran into his knee. So his knee went the
Yeah.
opposite direction as his foot.
Yeah,
So that was scary.
Once again, I think the fact that it was grass saved a lot of pain there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you saw them doing the ACL test on the field.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It was scary. That's for sure.
What was your minor?
Health studies.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
We know what the ACL test is.
yeah. I mean, I couldn't do it. It's been many years. But I can recognize when someone's yanking on someone's leg, like, oh, that's what they're looking for.
Yeah. We got any comments, Jay?
Yeah, we've got some. Let's see. Yeah, the Pit fan. Thanks for listening.
Smokey. That's their name.
Yeah, shout out to the band. Juan's talking about that. And Yonnic is glad to see the ladies on.
We miss you, Yonnic.
Yeah.
And Ben, if you're listening, we miss you too. Should we talk about Ben for a second?
Yeah.
do we want him to? Is he gonna call?
He's gonna call. He
Okay.
said he'll call. Here
I'll
in just
save
a
it.
few minutes.
I'll save it.
Okay, so let's talk about
The ACC.
the ACC.
Yeah.
So there's a storm of brewing, and it's still, I mean, it's full strength ahead. Right now, it's a Category 4.
Are we gonna call it a hurricane?
You could call it a hurricane.
Okay. Yeah.
So right now there's a 3-way tie for first place in the ACC. There are 3 undefeated. Sorry, check that. It's a 4-way tie.
Yeah.
Kind of. There's a potential. Pitt hasn't played as many ACC games.
That's
They're
true.
3-0 and we're 4-0.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's a 3-way tie for the first place. Pitt plays us and Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
Do they play Miami as well?
I don't know. I'd have to check.
But there's
Okay,
no way
Erica's checking.
for a 3-way tie involving Pitt because they play 2 teams in the mix.
Yeah.
At least. And so the tiebreaker from there is head-to-head matchups. But none of these teams, SMU, Miami, and Clemson, none of them play each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so what would happen if all 3 of these teams went out? This is the crazy scenario that we have to be worried about now. So not only do we need SMU to continue to win, we need the teams that we play to win as well. So like Florida State needs to win as many games as possible because the next tiebreaker is the strength of the schedule you played in the ACC. It's not college football playoff rankings like we thought.
Oh, really?
It's the strength of your schedule in the ACC. So
How do they calculate that?
yeah, so it's the combined record of the ACC teams you play.
Oh.
So like Boston College doesn't play Miami or Clemson, but they play us. So we want Boston College to win
Yeah.
because it improves our
Florida State's not
record.
helping anybody.
well, yeah. Well, if they would have won today, it would have helped us out a lot.
Yeah.
We would have made a 2-way tie and both teams go to Charlotte. That's okay. But yeah. So that's, as Mustang fans, we need to be looking forward. Well, we got to win games first, but we got to make sure the games that are unique to us, like Virginia. I don't know if Virginia plays Miami or not, but we want Virginia and Cal and Louisville, depending on, well, all 3 of us play Louisville, so it's kind of not super helpful.
Poor Louisville.
Yeah.
It's a
They've
hard
had a rough
schedule.
go of it.
Yeah.
So we need our unique teams to win and then increase our strength of schedule. So then the question from there goes, all right, so if there's a 3-way tie for first place in the ACC of undefeated teams, and so someone's getting left out,
Mm-hmm.
does the ACC get 3 teams in the playoffs? Or do we only get 2? And who's the second? I don't know.
Yeah. Is it both teams that went to the championship, or is it the team that wins and the team that didn't go?
Yeah, let us know in the comments. Is it better to go to the championship and lose, or be essentially robbed of the chance to play in the championship?
But
And-
that what
and
if
not
factor
lose.
kind of helps you get into the playoff.
Exactly.
What do you think, Erica?
I think I'd rather go for the big money. So whatever's going to get me into the college playoffs, that's what I want, right? So, I mean, I guess I'll just go to the ACC championship and win, and then I'll go to the college playoffs, right?
Easy as that.
That's winning is obviously the best option.
For sure.
But if you had the option of losing in the championship game and being that third place team, the third place that's actually in first place,
Well,
which one would you take?
if I'm losing, then I want to be the one that's left out so that I can go to the college playoffs.
Well, that
The loser would probably also make it,
potentially.
Oh.
potentially.
Well, I thought you said they get left out because they lost. So we already know.
No,
they
we
can't
don't.
win.
We don't know.
We don't know anything. The
We don't know
ACC
if
may
they
only
would
get
get left
one
out.
team. There's that chance too.
Well,
They may
I don't
do
think
that.
the
That's-
SEC is that good this year. I don't think they're going to take that many. In the
Maybe. Here's the thing: is I'm trying to
I think if we all
Theorize.
write letters to the college football
what if we
people,
sued them?
right? And I'll sue you. If you step- Okay,
The Florida
sorry.
State route.
let's talk about, because I wanted to talk about how you think the ACC compares to the other conferences, because the Big Ten, SEC, they have a lot of teams in the top
Yeah.
10, top 25, a lot more than the ACC, than the Big 12 for sure. The mid 12, as I like to say. But I think I have a theory, and I have no idea if this is true, but I feel like within a conference, if all of the teams seem like they're fairly close to beating each other,
Yeah.
then I think that's a very strong conference. But if you have a conference where there are a very small handful of teams that just blow everyone else in the conference out, then that's a very weak conference. in my opinion, in the sense of like it shows that there are bad teams. Like in the conference where you have a small handful of teams that are blowing everyone else out, it shows that that conference has a lot of bad teams. But in a conference where all of the games are fairly close, it shows that that conference, all the teams are on like somewhat of an even playing field, and the competition is very high level.
Maybe.
It's just a theory.
Yeah.
And it seems like the SEC has more of that.
Well, they're
Than the
cannibalizing
ACC does.
themselves is the thing. Is like there's no undefeated teams left in the SEC.
Well, the interesting thing is, one, I don't think that matters that much. I know to the college football playoff it matters a lot for some reason, but I don't think it should matter as much. I think strength of schedule and whatnot should matter more than just outright wins, you know?
Yeah,
Really?
but they're losing to themselves, right? Like all of the big players in the SEC are losing to themselves for the most part. I mean, you have the outliers of Alabama losing to Vanderbilt, and
But
So
Vanderbilt's in the SEC, though.
no, I know, but Vanderbilt I wouldn't consider to be a big player in the SEC. But Texas
Yeah.
is losing to Georgia. Georgia is losing to
Alabama.
I
Alabama.
actually saw something pretty funny. I think I
So,
lost it.
like Jay said, they're all, killing themselves.
Right.
But that's the thing, is it shows that the competition all around in general is at a high level in that conference. So like every team is good.
Yeah, but the competition is good, right? I mean, the competition can be good in middle school basketball,
Right.
but
You can all be
Yes.
mediocre in playing good games.
But it's also the SEC.
right. Yeah, I do understand that.
I'm confused about your argument, though, because I thought you were using the games are good to argue that the ACC was good.
But you're arguing that the ACC is weak because there's only there's 4 schools
Yeah.
right now.
What
that
are?
are
Can you
undefeated.
clarify your argument?
Yeah, I'm basically arguing that like the ACC is a weaker conference because the way that 4 teams basically blow every
Everyone
other
else.
team out shows that we have 4 like good teams and everyone else is not good, but it's hard to know how like actually good the 4 teams are because
They're blowing everybody
they're
else.
blowing everyone out.
I would not call what we did tonight.
No,
blowing
okay.
everybody out.
This is the exception. This is the
Yeah.
exception.
Yeah, totally understand.
6 turnovers when we don't normally do that. It's kind of hard
Yeah, that's
to
a good.
judge.
I don't know. I think that the ACC is stronger than people give it credit for. Not like you in particular, but like what I hear in the media. I think we're stronger than people give us credit for, and not as strong as the Big Ten and the SEC.
Yeah. So then the big question there is, do we deserve 3 teams in the playoff?
If you have 3 teams that are undefeated in conference play, how do you deny any of them that? The same way you deny Florida State, I
Yeah.
guess. I guess
Yeah.
that's the answer to that
It's
question.
the argument is the conference isn't that strong because you blew everyone else out. And so that doesn't prove that you're good because you blew bad teams out.
I don't know.
I mean, did you think Florida State should have been in the playoff last year?
Yeah. I mean, Alabama lost to Texas. Like they blew their shot. They got beat. Florida State didn't get beat last year. Now they
But
would
they
have been
didn't play
absolutely
Alabama.
smoked. Right. They did play Georgia and got absolutely smoked.
At the end, yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that's a weak case because we know what happened in the Orange Bowl. So as much as like in my head, I think we should have gotten the Fiesta Bowl last season as well.
I also don't think bowl games are the best, like, judge in general.
Yeah, especially non-playoff games.
Yeah.
are pretty bad. It seems like we got a lot of
We've got a lot of comments. So Yonnic says that I think we called the 3-way tie possibly before any major outlet did, by the way.
We did after the Florida State game. We came back and we're like, all right, if we win the rest of our games, we may not make the college football playoff.
Which is kind of crazy. We can't say that for sure, but if that is true, I mean, you guys are really at the cutting edge of college football news watching us.
Yeah.
So
Yonnic and I were driving back from that game and we were like, dang it, what if this happens?
Yeah.
Now we're 1 week closer to it happening.
David Medina does not like Kevin Jennings.
Yeah.
We need to consider playing Stone next week. I don't think that's going to happen,
Yeah.
and I don't think it's a good idea either.
Maybe we
Sorry,
could put him
David.
in, but
I don't know. I'm telling you. 5 turnovers. That's crazy.
Audrey, Kevin, or Stone? What do you think?
I go with Stone.
Oh,
really,
See,
Whoa!
All right.
That's why I'm
Mid
saying
game, don't switch it. I mean, I wouldn't switch it mid game, but
Yeah.
brand new game.
now you have a whole week to get things right.
But then we're just back in the quarterback battle. I don't want to be there. We
No.
literally
But
for
isn't the quarterback battle if it's like a whole game?
Yeah. It's the season. Like it's your job, right? It's like who's the number one? What's not the understudy? What's the opposite?
The
of that?
principal.
Yeah.
The principal.
Or first cast. But yeah, I mean, I understand that, but like both have to play or one of them's useless if they're like not getting any actual play time.
Preston, since not being the starter, 1 of 1 touchdown.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and Kevin Jennings had 5 turnovers tonight, so his stats didn't look great.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, one, you got a good point. We need to beat Pitt and then root for Pitt to beat Clemson. That'd be great.
We wouldn't be having this conversation if Louisville beat Miami, which I thought was
Oh,
totally
gosh.
possible. Totally
was.
possible.
It was close, right?
It was very close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was convinced that
It was about to happen,
Louisville was going to beat Miami.
and
but-
then they blew it.
Yep.
Let's see.
David also says it is not reasonable to think we will win out. Is this like a burner account for Ben? I mean, this is crazy.
All right, block that guy.
No, I'm sorry we're
It's
roasting
a
you, David.
realist. It's a realist.
Yeah, it's a take. I think it is reasonable. I think we can beat Pitt because I don't think they've faced any strong competition, and we have.
Boston College, right? Comes after that.
Yeah, we
Yep.
can beat BC. We
Well,
can
Pitt
beat
and then a bye week, and then
Yeah.
Aren't
Boston College.
They
and-
kind of on par with Duke.
BC.
ish.
I think they're a little bit worse.
Yeah, I think they've gotten worse. They started pretty strong, and they haven't been as strong.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Cal, right? Is the last
Cal's the
game.
last. Well, we have one more game after Boston College.
Cal, go to Virginia, and then
Virginia.
I thought Cal was the last game of the season.
Cal is the last
Sorry.
game of the season.
BC, go to
Virginia.
Virginia, Cal.
Cal, at home, right?
Yeah.
Cal at home.
Yeah.
Yep.
After thing.
Correct.
Yep. Yep. We
John
do-
Miller, I totally agree.
Okay, it's okay. What other comments? A lot of comments. This is great. What other comments? A lot of comments. This is great. Smokey just says LOL. Smokey just says LOL. What are you referring to? Erica Yonnic says that Maddie, his wife, and him are impressed with your football knowledge.
Well, I used to be a bigger football fan than you.
This is true.
And then, I don't know, something happened. And
What happened?
I think this is a true story. I think I went to an OU game and I was like, wow, the stadium and the vibes are so good here. And I got so sad that I didn't have that like college football experience. And so then I just was like,
Whatever.
you
But isn't it exciting to be like
it is really exciting.
at the precipice of being able to create that for ourselves?
Yeah, I
you
just
know?
wish I was in college.
Yeah. I mean, me too. I wish I was in college right now.
Yeah.
Being in that student section, oh my gosh. I mean,
Next-
who's gonna stop? Who could stop us from going in there if we wanted to? But
I guess.
I don't want to right now.
No,
We don't have to storm the field. We'll already be on the field.
Oh.
So.
not me.
That's true.
All right. Yeah, Tom, good point. This was a disaster of a win. As bad of a win as possible. I like it. Let's see. You ready? I think Ben's ready to.
Oh yeah, call him in.
All right. Let's see. Turn it down right now.
Okay. Let's see. We talked about game day. We talked about the ACC being bad or just underrated. Bad or underrated. I think the ACC is meh. Better than Big 12, but
Yeah. We're definitely the
Then we
third
turn
best
it up.
conference.
Why do you think they are better than the Big 12? Just, for
who are the good
people.
teams in the Big 12?
Iowa State,
Iowa State and BYU.
Kansas State, BYU.
BYU.
Shout out to BYU.
Yes.
Thank you for winning today. Appreciate that. Please keep winning. That's great. All right, we got Ben on the line.
Number 11?
Let's see. Ben, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. What's up, guys?
Hey,
And
welcome, man.
ladies.
All right. Hey Ben, I need to confront you on something. So I went through our group chat from during the game.
Oh gosh.
And you flip-flopped. I think I counted 10 times.
It was the full experience. I was playing dominoes at my in-laws, and I was just having a mental breakdown just on the side, trying to hold it together. Not very well. I definitely turned it off before the kick, by the way.
No way.
You're
I was like,
kidding.
I'm done. No, I did. And then I had a couple people text me and they were like, no way. And I was like, what? And they said they blocked it. I was like, you're kidding me.
Wow.
That's when I knew that God loves us. 'Cause there's no other explanation because we got so lucky.
So you had fully given up, fully resigned.
He was protecting his
Yeah.
peace, at that point. You let it happen.
Well, because after, I don't remember which turnover it was. After one of the turnovers, I was like, okay, Kevin is the guy, but he needs to be sat down for the rest of this game because his head is gone, clearly. So then when he went back out there through the interception, I was like, okay, that's not good. And then when he came out again, I was like, oh no. And then he fumbled, and I was like, I want to destroy something. But the Lord was with us, so who can be against us, I guess.
Amen. Amen.
Except for the ACC screwing us by putting us on the ACC network, but whatever.
So you
guess
don't
we're
think we're gonna
undefeated on
get
the
to game
channel.
day because of that?
Well, I was on the board, and Billy said that it doesn't mean that we're not going to get it, but he also said like not trying to get your hopes up. So it didn't sound very positive, but it's hard for me to see them doing a game that's going to be on the ACC network. But
I also
I don't
just
know.
think your number 3 and 4 team are playing each other. And that feels like
Yeah.
the one.
They've already
They've already been
both of them
to
have
an
already
Ohio State game.
yeah.
They have not been to a Penn State game yet, though.
Has Penn State, so Penn State hasn't had a game day.
No.
I still feel like that's lame. Like they're doing a
is.
lot of teams that've never had it before. Like they did Indiana today, which was kind of a lame game, but so why wouldn't they do us? But I don't know.
Our game will be much better than the
Because
Indiana
we're
game
so
today.
lame.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
We saw what happened with Cal when they did Cal, and I think that was special.
That was really
I think it
That
was
was
really,
awesome.
really cool, and I hope that they see the value in that, and that they see that it could also be something that's recreated at SMU, because it's in Dallas. Like, yes, maybe the SMU student population isn't very large, but I guarantee you,
But we're the same
Yeah.
size as the team in Fort Worth, and
we're
they've
a
been
little bit
there a
smaller.
couple times.
We're a little bit
Well,
smaller,
between graduate and undergrad, we're
Maybe.
pretty close.
but
Are you talking
we've
about
got
TCU?
Yeah, in lowercase though.
yeah. What is it?
Yes. Facts.
What do we call it? Tarrant County University or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But we also have, like I said, we may not have the huge student population, but we have the city of Dallas. And I guarantee you, I've had friends at work who have zero affiliation to SMU, and they're like, if there's game day, I'm going to be there. And I'm going to be cheering on SMU because that's cool. And I think there would be a great turnout. I think it would be great TV. It would be wild. It'd be so fun.
It would be so.
And it's homecoming.
Yeah,
It is
it'll be
homecoming.
bonkers.
Yeah.
At least it's a night game. We'll have time for a parade and like.
We won't have to get up at
This
8
is
a.m. to watch the
first
parade.
homecoming night game that we've had in forever.
Like 4 years.
Yeah, I heard so many people complain about 11 a.m.s last season. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get to the ACC and play some night games. And we have played no home 11 a.m. games.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Those
Been
were
awesome.
It's
the worst.
incredible.
When we had the floats and stuff, and we'd have to be on the street at like 6 o'clock in the morning, full
Oh my gosh.
dress and everything. It was,
Yeah.
and
that's the
I had
worst.
been up all night rolling those stupid pumps for the floats. It was, you get calloused fingers and
Pumping. I remember helping you out with that.
yeah, you did come and help.
Why'd you say it like that?
Well, to be fair, if we
I was meaning
ahead,
we needed the help.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone and everyone who could came and pumped.
What were you going to say, Ben?
I was gonna say, I mean, if we got game day, we'd probably be up at like 4 a.m. So
Yeah.
That's fine.
we'd be up early
Worth it.
regardless.
I've already got the signs.
The only,
But then you
the
can go
only other thing I
nap.
wanted.
You
Yeah,
know?
that's true. That's true. The only other thing I wanted to say before I sign off is when I turn the game off, I sent this text. I don't know if it was to you guys or somebody else, but I said, I'm not going to the pit game next week. And I was serious. Like, I'm done with this. I'm done with the season. I'm not going next week. I can't take this pain anymore. And then we won, so I'll be there.
Okay,
So,
good.
Let's ride.
I'm
And
happy that
I
you'll
will
be
say, I think Jennings should have gotten benched at the end of the game or in overtime, but I wouldn't like bench him next week because to me this was totally an aberration. Like, I think he just lost his head. I think he'll be fine going forward because that was very uncharacteristic. But
there for sure.
man, we got lucky. But thanks be to God, who gave us the victory. So
Awesome.
thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, thanks for calling in, Ben.
Have a good night. Love y'all.
You
Bye.
too.
Love you too. Bye. Oh man, that's
Oh
funny.
boy.
All right, David Medina once again coming in saying OSU at PSU has to be game day next week. Our time will come. Our time will come another time. If not now, then when? This is the first AP top 25 matchup in Ford Stadium history.
What?
Yep. This is the first time we've been ranked playing another ranked team in Ford Stadium history.
Whoa! I didn't realize that.
It's happened once. The coaches poll, Temple was 25 in 2019, and we were like 21 or something like that in the coaches poll. But it's never happened as two AP
poll.
top 25
That's
teams
crazy.
in Ford Stadium. Yep.
That's
So if not now, then when?
if you're a producer. Let me just lay out this storyline.
At
ESPN
ESPN College Game Day.
ESPN producers that are watching this, amongst the other thousands of people watching this, just
One of
listen.
the 8 people watching.
Listen,
now is an
listen to
ESPN
this
producer.
storyline, ESPN producers. Okay, SMU. You made an amazing 30 for 30 on us. Okay, good job. You roll that into the history of the school. We were down. We cheated. We got caught. So was everyone else. But anyway, that's besides the point.
We just paid players.
Yeah.
Oh,
Everyone does it now.
sorry, I forgot about in 2020. Homecoming was also a top 25 matchup. We played Cincinnati.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I forgot about that. But that doesn't count. It was COVID.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
It's the second.
Think about the storyline, like the redemption arc, the like underdog that has come back and is now like, well, I guess we're technically an underdog for the pit game, but just being able to tell that story and then to show our beautiful campus and everyone that's super excited, our redemption. We're back in a power conference. We've scratched and clawed and fought our way to this point over the past 40 years.
Yeah.
Like, it's an
Story
amazing
of
story.
Dallas's team being behind that. Like, I think the whole city of Dallas would show up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an amazing story, and it would make great TV, in my opinion.
It would make amazing TV. Yeah.
Aren't they like not supposed to be biased though? Or do they?
It's not
I know
biased. It's just telling the story. It's just a story.
Well, and they told part
So
of the
what's-
story
What's
in.
Pitt's story then?
They're,
They're just showing up.
they're ranked above us.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, they're undefeated. And are they undefeated overall or just in conference? I think it might be just being in
I'll
conference.
check. I have their schedule up.
But so they told part of that story in 2019 when we had game day at Memphis, like, and it was a good story to tell, but it wasn't in Dallas. It wasn't on Dallas Hall lawn, like the
Pitt's undefeated.
Pitt is
Yeah.
undefeated. Yeah. That's great. I mean, if not now, then when?
No,
if
for
this
real.
isn't it,
Like, it just seems like our whole school's history is coming to a climax at this point.
yeah,
And because
on homecoming
on homecoming,
in 2024.
like, literally get Eric Dickerson there. Get all of the players that played during the Pony Express there for homecoming.
Except for Craig James.
Okay, sure. But, like, oh my gosh. It's too perfect.
Yeah,
ESPN producers,
it's gonna be.
guys.
I feel like I would feel so wronged if I was one of those people now because it's like, man, what I was doing then is legal now. And
NIL. NIL stands for now it's legal.
well, yeah, but I mean,
And we played
think
players.
about
We paid players before it was cool.
exactly.
I mean,
but think about
We're
like
good at it. too.
really good.
Still are.
At least we won the games when we were paying the players.
Exactly.
I don't know. It's just like it's taken you so long to come back from that and it never even had to happen. We were just ahead of our time at that point, right?
Yeah. We weren't wrong. We were just early.
Yeah. All right, David Medina coming in again, saying that the Ohio State Penn State game just carries too much weight. I get it, but they don't always go to the game with the most weight. They go to the game with the best story. Like this week, Indiana versus Washington had almost no weight. It's like the game was not super competitive. It wasn't a great game. It was an 11 a.m. game on the Big Ten network, which ESPN doesn't own. Like,
well, here's the question: what is the consequence of the OSU Penn State game?
both teams are going to make the playoffs.
Exactly.
Exactly.
What's the consequence?
Maybe.
What's at stake?
I mean, at this point,
A spot in the Big Ten championship, maybe.
Yeah.
yeah. I
But
mean, they're
then-
both going to the playoffs, and then that's the game that actually matters, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I guess Penn State maybe could miss out on the playoffs if they lose. But I don't see them keeping out a 2-loss Ohio State team
Yeah.
when their losses were to the number 1 team in the nation and Penn State.
Yeah, it's just. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, I mean, when you look at the stakes between the two games, yes, two very highly ranked teams with two very large fan bases, obviously, maybe better for the ratings and for the money, maybe, but if you care about the soul and the spirit of college football,
Then
which
you
I know
come
they
to
do,
Dallas next week.
and you
do
come
you
to
think
Dallas,
they care more about the soul or the ratings?
The ratings.
yeah,
Unfortunately.
Come on.
it could also be good for ratings though. Come on.
Oh, man. Well, that would be awesome. I really hope it happens. But I guess I wouldn't mind sleeping in a little bit next week. It's going to be crazy homecoming.
Yeah.
Pigskin Review is on Friday night. So if you don't know what that is, come to McFarland Auditorium on Friday night. You're going to see a great show. And then...
What is
What
it?
is that?
Oh, it's the like homecoming performance. It's like a variety show. There's like singing, dancing, the band plays. What'd you say?
saying it's fun.
Audrey thinks it's fun. So
Interesting. Wait, don't they announce game day on Sunday? Tomorrow?
they'll either announce tonight or tomorrow. That's
Okay, here's the funny thing.
Really
So, I mean,
fresh.
obviously this is live on YouTube right now, but it won't get uploaded on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as a podcast until probably Monday morning. So, if you're listening to this during the week on your podcast app, this entire conversation is probably irrelevant.
Yeah.
So, sorry for that. But while we're on the topic of just college football playoffs, I wanted to move into like realignment. So I have a meme here. It's like the picture of the like video of the kid in the yellow shirt being like, you know what, I'm gonna say it. I don't care that you broke your elbow. You know that video?
It's a vine.
no.
Oh, come on. Anyways,
Oh, okay.
the meme. Yeah, okay, you got it. You got
I
it.
see it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's, you know what? I'm just gonna say it. Realignment and playoff expansion football is better than what we've gotten in the last decade.
That's so true. So many more
Did you
games
make
matter.
that?
No.
It's not very good.
All right. There's
It's
still
the
gonna be-
point. It's just the point that it's making. I'm not saying it's a funny meme. I'm just saying that the point that the meme is making is good.
I missed it. I was distracted
Tell us what you really
by the
think,
bad
Erica.
meme.
Come
Sorry.
on. Don't hold back. Don't hold back.
Sorry.
No, I
sorry.
think like this year of football has been the craziest year of college football
And we'll still have
that I can remember.
4 mad teams, but instead of being, 5, 6, and 7, and 8, it's gonna be
13,
13, or it'll be 12, 13, 14, and 15
Potentially, yeah.
potentially. Yeah. So, yeah, super excited about that. I think there's like we would be out of the question with our loss to BYU last year.
Yeah.
There's no chance. I guess maybe if we won the ACC championship, they would put us at the 5 spot.
Yeah.
But
And if they continue to do really well, that also
right,
changes the narrative of it.
that would help. But I don't think they're going to put in a 1-loss ACC team last year. But now you have to.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to put in the champion, and most likely the runner-up. So
Yeah. Yeah.
crazy stuff. Really excited to see how the year ends. So many
it's-
games really matter.
I think it's just so much better, so much more interesting. Also, like, not just a realignment thing. because it is a little funky, but also just the whole NIL stuff. There's a lot more parity between the teams because it seems like there's a bit more of an even playing field because, now people can buy players. So it makes it a bit more even, I think. And it makes it a lot more interesting.
Yeah, do you think that's the reason there's so much parity this year? Is it NIL and the transfer portal?
Oh, yeah. I think, I don't think realignment is the reason why. I think it's because of definitely the transfer portal, but then NIL is.
You think money makes it fair?
It makes it
more fair for us.
Makes it more fair for the top teams. But I think the gap will grow between the top teams and the bottom teams.
Okay.
But I think it makes it more fair amongst all of the teams that can afford it.
So
Us.
It makes it better for us.
Biased. I'm going to admit I'm biased. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, man.
What else? Oh, the voice memos.
Oh, yeah. Here, you want to
Pull that up. I'll play it. So, we've been talking about the voice memos. There's a little mishap with Spotify's voice memos. They just decided to stop doing it. And I was hounding y'all. I was like, leave voice memos. And no one did. And then we realized that you couldn't. So we fixed that. And we fixed it, and somebody left a voice memo. So I just wanted to play it, and let's see what they have to say. You have it turned up?
Yep.
Oh wait, I pressed the wrong link. Here we go.
Okay.
And it's loading. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Hey guys, this is Hawker Waris, huge fan of the podcast. I saw that you changed your voice memo link, and now that it works, I can't believe that no one's not leaving any voice memos. I mean, this is amazing. We get to talk to you guys. We get to give our thoughts. We get to hear our own names and voices on the podcast.
Man,
I think
love
it's
Hawker so
super
much.
cool. And I don't know why more people don't do it. I'm sure I'll be back.
he's kind of chatty,
But
honestly.
thanks for
He's a
all y'all
yapper.
do. I really love the podcast. It's super cool. I know you say it's the number 2 podcast, but I'm sure some of the other fans out there may disagree and think you're number 1.
Wow.
But anyways, I won't say what I think for reasons. But keep doing what you're doing. Pony up.
Dude, Hawker sounds like a really cool guy.
He sounds just like you.
I don't know what to say about that. I mean,
Yeah, I didn't see
Plead the
that.
fifth.
I didn't really.
yeah,
You didn't
I didn't
hear
hear
it?
it. I didn't hear it.
I didn't really. Did you hear it?
No. I didn't.
Yeah.
Actually, funny story. I think I heard that record. Like, I think I heard it being recorded at one point. Hawker.
Weren't you out of town this whole weekend? But anyways, yeah, Hawker sounds like a cool guy. And y'all should totally do what he just did. Leave voice memos.
So go to this link in our Spotify.
Spotify bio, YouTube bio,
Oh, okay.
Instagram link.
Wow.
You have literally no reason to not be able to find it.
Yeah, you could be doing that right now.
Mm-hmm. So leave us one. Tell us what you think about college football realignment. Tell you what you think about our chances of, getting into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Tell us what you think about Kevin Jennings versus Preston Stone next week,
Yeah.
and we'll see who's right.
We'll see. And if you get it in time, we may include it on our special edition homecoming episode that may or may not happen.
Yeah, you'll be included if it does happen. Yeah.
Be on the lookout for a homecoming podcast this week.
Yonnic says Hawker is the man. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Anything else? Preview for Pitt. Is there anything in particular that like you're worried about for Pitt?
I mean, they're a good team. I don't think they've really faced much adversity yet. But
I think the West Virginia game was pretty close.
yeah. What was it? 38-34. Yeah.
Cincinnati as
And Cincy, 28-27.
Really?
Yeah. I think it'll be a good game. I think we can beat them. I don't think they should be ranked higher than us. It was close against Cal, too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jeez.
17-15. What a game.
So, based on those scores, I think we have a pretty good chance.
Yeah. I think so too. I think if our defense gets a turnover and we have less than, 6,
Of our own offensive turnovers,
we've got a really good shot at winning. I think if we hold them in the twos, we'll win. Or in the 20s. 20s or below, we'll win. I think we can get to 31 points next week. So,
yeah.
You do a quick score prediction. Erica, what do you think?
I'm going to go 28-34.
All right. Who wins?
I'm going to go 28-34. I'll go SMU. It's homecoming. But it's got to look very different next week.
Yeah. I'm going to go 38 SMU and 20. I'm trying to do the math in my head. I'm bad at this.
35. Sorry. I'm going to 28-35. Sorry.
38 SMU, 31 Pitt. No, I take it back. 24 Pitt. 38 SMU, 24 Pitt.
Okay. I'll take 34-28 SMU wins.
Okay.
That seems like, this game, the Virginia game, all kind of in that area.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we get to 30 points, we win.
Okay.
And the defense scores. What do you think? Pick a number.
Any number.
I'm going to say 21-28 SMU wins. I don't think it's going to be as high scoring.
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, I'm excited. Excited to see you guys.
Yonnic says 38-27 SMU.
Heck yeah. If we don't get game day, we'll still have the ACC network thing.
Oh, again?
Huddle.
Yeah.
Oh, the ACC huddle?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have to go
So,
to that.
if we're not
come
at
to
game
that,
day,
if you're an SMU fan in Dallas, come to that. I'm sure we'll be around. Maybe.
yeah, yeah,
Hopefully.
I think we'll probably be there.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, we'll have the signs that say the Mustang mood.
Yeah.
It was a good time last time.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed it. It was a good hour.
Mm-hmm.
It's just 1 hour. You're on the ACC network. It's pretty fun.
And it'll probably. It wasn't that hot when we went last time, but it'll probably be even nicer.
Yeah.
This time. with
Hopefully it
weather.
doesn't rain next week.
Yeah, that's true.
Knock on wood again. All right. Anything else?
Smokey says 41-24 Pitt. Get out of here.
Fake news.
Get out of here.
With
Get
a
outta
smiley
here.
face. That's nice.
Hey, Yonnic, Hawker didn't pick any score. What are you talking about? Yonnic said, dang, Hawker, you almost picked my score.
Hey,
Walker.
David Medina with a positive note for the first time in the comments. 27-24 Ponies win. I like it. Hey, it doesn't matter how we win, just that we win. To balance out the bias. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, this is we've never claimed to be unbiased, Smokey.
No,
This is the most biased
not at all.
podcast in SMU sports history.
Also, one thing I have to tack in there just to feed into our rival energy with Florida State, because I don't like them, and Erica really doesn't like them.
Yeah.
But Florida State is the only FBS team to have not scored over 21 points this season. The only, out of the 156 or whatever.
Wow.
They're the only one that has not scored more than 20.
You know
Did
what
they
I'd
score
like
more?
to
They
see?
didn't score more than 21 today, though. This wasn't that stat didn't include today.
You know, comment down below if you want to see Kennesaw State play Florida State.
They scored 14 today.
Okay, so it still stands. It still stands. They still suck. All right, get us out of here, Jay. Oh,
All right.
okay.
Get a little jazz to leave today.
Is this copyright free? Okay. That's
Copyright free. Thank you so much for listening to the Mustang Mood today. And special thanks to our guests, our wonderful wives.
yeah. It was fun having y'all on.
Yeah. And once again, thank God for the magic that happened in North Carolina today.
Yeah.
So,
And this music is great. I need to listen to this after like how high
yeah,
My
to
blood
calm
pressure's
down
been-
after the game.
This is
because
like
of this game.
elevator music
kind of. It's like elevator music in a fancy
with
hotel.
a Christmas cheer.
A little bit. Yeah.
Well, if you haven't already liked the video, if you do that, that'd be awesome. Like, comment, and subscribe. Go follow us on Instagram. We're pretty active there.
Leave a voice memo.
Leave a voice memo. We're really excited to have that back. So if you want to be on the podcast next time, just leave us a voice memo. And yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for listening today. Pony up, and hey, happy homecoming. Let's go beat Pitt.
And Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas.